Yes, sir. My Trinka. Back up in this thing, man. Today, I'll be reacting to some mysterious videos that'll have you demanding answers. Let's get it. We know that Bill Gates' mosquito program is based in Florida. It looks like they just airdropped a fresh batch.
Zoom in on that. Everyone else is so oblivious they don't even see it. Come on. Truman Show. That guy was looking, you see him? It was like something cut through it.
It looks exactly like one of those glitches you would see when you pop in an old VHS tape. The sky almost looks digital.
There is something lurking in our upper atmosphere. And yeah, we're back on the cryptid iceberg today. So there's this theory that some UFOs that people report might actually be these massive creatures that live way up in the sky. They're known as atmospheric beasts. They seem to defy all rules of understood biology, like being able to fly or levitate without the use of wings. Witnesses have described them as being weightless, translucent creatures that can also pulse with this bioluminescence. And they're often seen in the form of jellyfish or sky serpents. But what are they? Well, Ivan T. Sanderson wrote a whole book about how many of the UFOs that people see are actually these low-density organisms that are native to Earth's upper atmosphere. Interestingly, life has found a way up there, albeit in the form of bacteria. But surely there would be remains of these things falling out of the sky if they died, so case closed, right? Well, not so fast. Have you heard of star jelly? It's this gelatinous substance that shows up all over people's lawns and in nature, seemingly falling from the sky, and then it evaporates within hours. Many think that this material, some of it at least, could be from the remains of these atmospheric beasts.
There's so much about this planet that we still don't know about yet, so I can't say for certain if atmospheric beasts ever existed or if they still exist, but I know in the last video we covered a clip that had this same jelly-like substance, so maybe that was just star jelly.
So you may have heard a Rothschild passed away in a fire, but did you know he passed away on the 333rd day, and there's 33 days remaining in the year? It gets crazier. It also took firefighters 33 minutes to extinguish the fire. Do with that what you will.
First and foremost, this is a real tragedy, so RIP to Will Rothschild, but if you know anything about secret societies and the number 33 and how important it is, then this seems very ritualistic.
Good evening, everyone. I want to show you something really weird. See these orange lights? Every time I walk past them, even as a kid, they would blow out and just turn off. So this one up here goes off all the time. So let's see what happens. Every time I walk past it every night, it just goes out. I don't know how this happens, but let's see if it goes out. There, gone. That is weird. But every night, without a doubt, and then it'll come back on. But yeah, does this happen to anybody else?
Maybe there's a motion sensor that turns the light off when you walk past it, which doesn't make sense at all for a street light. This guy might just be a human EMP. If he gets angry, he might shut the whole grid down. I can't really tell if this is coming from the ground or from the sky. If it's coming from the sky, it might be the turn signal on the mothership.
Right, I'm not touching it. And it's going mental. Right, it stops now. It was doing that for ages.
This might be one of those smart microwaves and somebody just hacked into it. If not, then he might have a ghost in the house trying to heat up some paranormal leftovers.
Did y'all know that farmers aren't allowed to save and reuse their seeds for the crops that they grow? And
as a farmer who grows these seeds, we don't appreciate you telling the whole world the truth. She's right. Large, powerful seed companies make your food more expensive by holding farmers hostage. If you don't already know, farmers don't own their seeds. They pay for the right to plant that seed. This is my corn, but I don't own the genetics to my own corn. So if I harvest it and try to plant more, that's illegal. They can sue me, and they will for a lot of money. But how would they find out? When you're a farmer and you buy your seed, they make you sign a contract. Meaning whenever they want, the seed company can come onto your property, dig up your plant, and check for their genetics. Even if it's an accident, like your neighbor's plant cross-pollinated, they can sue you.
I would say the most simple solution would be to develop your own genetics, but I'm sure there's regulations against that too. Welcome to 2024 where you can't even grow crops without a subscription service.
So Where Are You Now? Music video by Justin Bieber. Where are you now that I need you? The whole time there was subliminal messages when Justin Bieber was rapping, right? Aliens are real, Masonic symbols, Illuminati is real, believe in the devil. Yeah. And it goes, where are you now that I need you? And then when that thing goes off, there's a bunch of art. Once you slow down the video frame by frame, whoa. Look. Masonic symbols right there. Oh, Master 22. Whoa. Yeah. Yes. Look, pyramids in the eye. Flashlight use video. They pushed Justin to push that agenda. We been knew this. I thought Justin was on the good side.
I don't know how much actual creative control Justin has over his music videos. I'm sure the decision of what makes the final cut comes from much higher up on the chain of command, but at the end of the day, he's still a willing participant. Nobody's holding a gun to his head making him push the Illuminati agenda. I might actually be wrong about that.
An Arizona man is lucky to be alive after some quick thinking. The moment caught on camera. Pay attention to that red circle on your screen. So while on a roller coaster, he realized the lap bar holding him down had detached moments before he dropped. He made the decision to get out and climb onto the catwalk. The man who did not want to be identified said he filed an incident report. As for that amusement park, they did not immediately respond to our requests for comment.
How scary, right?
Yeah. I'm just glad he had the quick thinking action. I don't even think I would have.
I would have been like, well, there we go.
I know.
I would have done a lot more than just file an incident report because the amusement park only gonna give you a free ticket and a hot dog. They almost cost him his life.
You guys, look at these eggs I bought from Walmart. I tried to break the yolk. They're like hard and rubbery. What the heck? Look, almost the entire pack's like that. Disgusting.
I don't know what made her pick up one of these yolks and squeeze it to figure this out, but good thing she did because she was about to eat some scrambled putty for breakfast.
Göbekli Tepe, brother, if there is such a thing as an ancient conspiracy theory, it's this. So I remember hearing Graham Hancock come on your show back in like 2015 or 2017, and he was talking about Göbekli Tepe. And at that time, he had shared that the site was only approximately 5% excavated. These pillars dates back 11,600 years. It appears to be purposely buried at the same time of the Younger Dryas climate catastrophe. This is fascinating. I'm like, okay, I'm going to backburn this topic of Göbekli Tepe for a little while, let them further their excavations, and I'll revisit this later when there's something new to share. So earlier this summer, I'm like, all right, let me revisit Göbekli Tepe and see what's new there. And I was astonished to learn that that 5% figure was still the same. And I couldn't believe this. They're going to defer a full-scale excavation for, quote, future generations with a 150-year estimated time frame for a full excavation of Göbekli Tepe. And I'm like, wait a second. Are you serious? Like, this makes no sense. We're talking about arguably not just the world's oldest ancient site, but arguably the most mysterious, because it's like you were saying, it's not supposed to exist.
Maybe the mainstream archaeologists who were initially working on this site saw where it was headed and weren't ready to stomach the fact that everything they were taught in school was a lie, so they wanted to push it off for 150 years to spare themselves the embarrassment. I don't know if this is caused by some sort of sinkhole or something. I've never seen a bouncy forest floor like this. I just know the last thing I would do is test the waters and jump on it. Even the dogs were smart enough to stand off to the side.
The coast of Sicily, all these apartments were like catching on fire. A microwave, boom. Some books, boom. Couch, boom. And so the government came in and they're like, what the is going on here? So they quarantine the area, get everyone to leave, and they're going, why are things catching on fire? They detected these energy weapons or something that were way out in the Mediterranean. What they looked out and saw were UFOs. So the head of the UFO program and the head of the Italian Navy SEALs get on an unmarked civilian helicopter and just fly out to go see what's going on out there. As they're flying, a UFO pops out of the ocean and shoots their helicopter down. I have the documents. I have pictures of the helicopter being chased by a UFO and all the damage that was done to it with some type of microwave weapon or something. And what they found out was there were airplanes and other helicopters kind of in the area, but the UFO knew that those dudes were looking for him. It's like they can read their minds. It's like we have drones that fly around and listen to people's like cell phones. They do it with thought.
I've never heard reports of UFOs being hostile and using weapons. This might have been piloted by a human.
Okay, so I know there's like a reasonable explanation for this, or it's like some optical illusion, but if you were on some, this would scare you bad, and it trips me out right now, and I'm sober. Look, you see the sphere's so tiny, whatever, and then like the further you go back, like this gets bigger, and it looks like it's coming at you. And like I'm telling you, if you go super far, like it just covers up the whole window, and then you go close again and it gets all tiny. Like, I'm confused. I'm really confused. Like, isn't it like if you go further it gets smaller? Like, why does this keep growing? It looks like it's coming at you. Like, I don't get it. Is it because it's big? I don't know.
I know this is some sort of forced perspective optical illusion, but it still feels like sorcery.
I am not quite sure what this big shadow on the clouds is from. The sun is right there. What in the heck? That is not a vapor trail. That is something different.
They're really taking cloud seeding to the next level now. It looks like they're spraying dark matter.
Are you saying that Elon Musk has kind of built his own base on Antarctica?
That camp exists. It's called Three Glaciers Retreat. It's a luxury camp. My buddy Devin and I were lucky enough to go up there for a few nights. It's absolutely incredible. It's like in the middle of nowhere in Antarctica, and you have Michelin star chef cooking you meals. You have like maybe 8 or 12 of these little tents, which are kind of the rooms with heaters and like super nice beds and a ton of activities. You can go. We went skiing up this kind of nearby mountain. You can take snowmobiles out.
Full bar?
Full bar. Oh, with the nicest alcohol.
So you telling me nobody's allowed to visit Antarctica, but Elon's allowed to set up his own camp fully equipped with VIP tents like it's Coachella? Talk about privilege.
They made incandescent bulbs illegal in the U.S. last year.
Sorry, what?
Oh, yeah. So you used to be able to buy incandescent bulbs because your body likes them. So last year, they put a fine in place of about $440 per bulb if a company sold a bulb. So I bought a few thousand incandescent bulbs right before they became illegal. So my house has amazing lighting, and when I run out of
What
those...
are Edison bulbs?
Edison bulbs are LED. They're just much better than the big bright ones.
So Edison incandescent are illegal?
If they're incandescent Edison bulbs, then you can still get them.
I got the incandescent one.
Okay.
I was like, there were spotlights out there. I was like, I'm not having any of this.
Those are precious. Most of the Edison bulbs you buy today have an LED filament.
Yeah,
that's
I saw
not
those.
actually incandescent.
Okay, as long as they're not illegal.
At this point, they just don't want us to have anything that's good for us. I can think of a long list of things that should be made illegal before incandescent light bulbs, like Red 40, for example.
This is an amazing find by a man in Mexico. He was out for a walk when he came upon what he's saying to be a huge bone. And it is. Mind you, he's in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. There's no bodies of water near him, so it's not like a whale bone or anything like that. The question remains is, what is this? Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Acabo de ver algo ahí que me parece como un tronco. Vamos a ver qué es. Ah, no manches. Esto es un hueso. Es un hueso. Miren esto. Wow. Es un hueso. Es un hueso. Es un hueso enorme. Aquí en el monte, miren. No sé qué tantos metros medirá, pero es un hueso. Llega hasta acá y hasta acá.
If this bone is real, he might have actually just found clear-cut evidence of giants. It looks like Goliath's clavicle.
Greenbrier Hotel. Have you heard of that?
No.
So, a hotel that is 5 hours away from Washington, D.C. was built like early 1900s, and they're going to do some renovations to it. And a lot of presidents, royal members, like all these elites of the world, they would go and stay at this hotel. So the U.S. government commissioned 120,000 square foot bunker underneath this hotel. Literally no one knew about it. Hotel staff didn't even know about it for over 30 years.
Wow.
How did it get discovered?
This is where it gets crazy, because the Washington Post basically was granted permission to talk about this bunker that was underneath this hotel. That article came out in 1992, and then the government stopped using this bunker in 1995, which is the same year the Denver airport was finished. This bunker underneath the Greenbrier Hotel, it had like a Congress room and everything. So it's like literally where like all the U.S. elites would go in case of a...
How does that just happen? What are they hiding? What's going on in there?
Let's be real. If they built an 120,000 square foot bunker underneath a hotel that's open to the public and kept it secret for 30 years, there's definitely more out there. I might have to explore the basement next time I stay at the Holiday Inn Express.
Scared? Yeah. I think you are.
It's Wally from Below, and we're pretty sure it's alive, low-key. Just heard it move twice, but we didn't see it. Wait, did you ever see it move?
I saw it move over there.
It doesn't have batteries in the controller, so it should not be moving.
Wally, I wish you were alive.
We can move soon.
At some point he's
gonna move?
Okay, I'm gonna go.
I don't know what would be more creepy, if it was haunted or if it was being remote controlled by somebody.
Another beautiful invention of the golden age of electricity shelved from us. The railplane of the 1930s. As impressive outside as it is luxurious inside. A hybrid airplane train of the past that was capable of reaching speeds of well over 100 miles per hour. It's amazing how much innovation came out of the past. How many different railroads and how many different futures for the railroads and many other forms of transportation they envisioned. Yet, as you know, we're stuck with the same old that we seem to have had for the last 100 years. The technologies of the old world was not about profits and control, unlike the monopolies we have controlling us today. And that is why you see so much of this great tech seemingly lost to us. Question everything, friends.
Inventions like this are starting to make the old world look much more advanced than we are today. All we got is the Amtrak and the Greyhound, which haven't been updated in over 50 years.
Do you know that there's one U.S. company that the United States government cannot work with? It's a company called Pinkerton. And it's even been codified in law for over 100 years that people that work for them cannot work for the U.S. government. An individual employed by the Pinkerton Detective Agency or similar organization may not be employed by the government of the United States or the government of the District of Columbia. And you're probably asking why. The Pinkerton is a detective agency that was founded by this man, Alan Pinkerton. Alan was an interesting guy. He was an abolitionist, he was a detective, and he even stopped a failed assassination attempt on Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. Too bad he wasn't at the Ford Theater, though. But they were maybe a little bit too good. Rich people like Andrew Carnegie started hiring them as private security to bust unions. They didn't do it psychologically. They didn't do it monetarily. They did it with their fists. One specific instance was the Homestead Steel Strike. People at Carnegie Steel decided to strike. Carnegie Steel called in the Pinkertons to stop them from striking. The fight between the Pinkertons and the strikers was so bad that the state had to call in the National Guard to stop them. What happened was so bad that the United States government wanted nothing to do with them and passed a law in 1893 saying that we want nothing to do with them and they can't have anything to do with us. And the company is still around today, and they are a consulting and investigative service.
They let the billionaires back in the day get away with anything. Imagine going on strike to negotiate better wages and better working conditions, and then your employer hires a company to put a stop to that strike by force, and you still got to go to work on Monday.
Common birthday in the world. Whoa.
What?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the most common birthday is September 9th. In second and third place are September 19th and 12th.
Alexa, what was the last fact that you told me?
A last is a mechanical form shaped like a human foot.
What?
It is
I
used
don't
by shoemakers
understand
and Ford
anything
wingers
you're
in the
telling
manufacture.
me.
If this happened to me at 4 a.m., Alexa would be up paperweight because I'm unplugging it ASAP.
What I believe crashed at Roswell was German from Argentina, but it had hallmarks and technology based on alien technology. So we put out a story saying it's alien, and then we put out a story saying it's a weather balloon. But the real thing it was, we didn't want anyone to guess, and that's why we put those two things out there. 90 days after the Roswell event, CIA was created, the Air Force was separated from the Army, the National Security Act was created, and all those things are mechanisms to start learning more and to start getting private industry off the ground.
So that had nothing to do with World War II. You think it had to do with aliens?
I do know that there's connections to Atlantis.
What's the connection?
That there's a very advanced group that left after a catastrophe and hung around in a small outpost here and throughout time would push civilization forward, and that's who the Greek gods were.
Whoa.
And that's why it's very interesting on the Roswell wreckage there's Greek writing.
Eleftheria.
Which means freedom in ancient Greek.
Hopefully with all this UFO disclosure, we can finally get the truth about Roswell. He might be right.
Civilization, you're living in with the right type of eyes, and you're sort of looking around your city and you're going, well, hang on, what's this building doing here? And why is there a building just like that in the Philippines? Why is there one in Japan? Apparently Japan's borders were closed, weren't they? Why are we finding what we're told is Greco-Roman style architecture in every country on earth? Was it really Greco-Roman style, or is it evidence of a culture that existed, a worldwide culture that existed right around the world in a not too distant past?
If I took a picture of this building behind me and asked any of these people where do they think this building is in the world, I guarantee you most of them would say Rome or Europe somewhere. But no, it's right here in San Francisco. We have buildings like this all over the country, and they want us to believe that they were built in the early 1900s or the late 1800s with horse and buggy. And there's just no way that's true. These buildings were built by the prior civilization, master builders, the old world order.
This is the architecture I'm talking about. You'll find this anywhere. New Zealand, Australia, Hong Kong, North America, South America, all over Europe. It doesn't matter where you are, this architecture is replicated. The weird thing is, they akin it to being all built around the 1870s to 1900 mark. So all of the world just out of nowhere at the same time. There was nothing before it. Does it make any sense? I don't think antiquity is a long time ago. I think this civilization went just before us. You know, the Edwardians are supposed to be around the time of the First World War. So within grandparents' living memory, yet we know nothing about it. It's the control mechanism that covers it up with the education system. They got the news, they got the narrative, they got, you know, the mainstream to tell you how things are, but the reality is completely different. History goes to the victors, okay? Somebody invaded this place and took over, beautiful, through jealousy, using trade routes, using the sea. They took over this place. They covered all of this fine architecture with their iconography. So there's literally been a cover-up of history more than one way.
If you look at Capitol buildings all over the earth, they look the same. They do. They've got columns, they've got domes. It was not random. And every story we're told in our historical narrative about how a place got started was some guy was the first settler there, bought some land, subdivided it, sold it, and pretty soon you have a city. But the whole narrative is based, especially in North America, that there wasn't anything there, and we built it all.
You could look at it, the whole building was a work of art. So there was obviously some pride that went behind that.
I'm a firm believer that there was some sort of great reset at some point, maybe in the 1700s or the 1800s, that's been completely erased from the history books. And when you know who wrote the history books, then it makes all the more sense.
That's what.
Don't let this monkey run into that group of monkeys that got released from that bio lab. He might train them how to walk and we might have a real uprising on our hands. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.